What's up with people who live a minimalist lifestyle? Essentially, what's the first thing you need to recognize? It's the purpose of every single item you own. When you understand the purpose, you'll understand its true value. A lot of people, when they have something, they see its style, maybe follow the latest trend, and so on. But for a minimalist, the first thing they see is the purpose. For example, take this phone. I don't use a case, so you can't see the brand, even though you might guess what kind of phone it is. Obviously it's cheap when I don't see the style, I don't see the brand, I don't follow the trend. What do I see? Its function. The important thing is that it works. I can read on it, and it can be an effective communication tool. That's what you focus on. Some people feel out of date if they don't change their phone every year. They think, wow, the S22 is out. Why am I still using an S21? That restlessness is a sign that you might need to learn about minimalism. Understand things from their purpose first. The second principle is to avoid associating yourself with the things you have. Don't judge yourself or other people based on their possessions. We are not our things, so don't read a person's status or worth from what they own. Oh, he has the latest iPhone. Or wow, that's the Galaxy Z Fold, the really expensive one. This phone costs as much as a motorcycle. Then you think, wow, this person needs to be respected. No. You are not the item you use. Don't judge people, and especially don't judge yourself based on your possessions. Many great people live a very simple lifestyle. So, the second formula is, don't judge by possessions. Like, wow, those clothes are branded. That's judging from stuff. The third principle, which connects to the fourth, is that fewer things equal less stress. Fewer things make us freer. Like I said before, the more we have, the more we're bothered. Let's say you have an old motorcycle from the 70s. You park it outside your boarding house without locking it, and you're relaxed. You're not worried, not stressed. Even a thief would think, what's the point of stealing that? It's not worth the risk. But if you have a brand new, expensive bike, you're constantly thinking, is my bike okay outside? I hope nobody bumps into it. You're extra careful when you ride it, trying not to get any scratches. You're just so careful, and it causes a lot of stress. But if your bike is old, who cares about a scratch? What's the loss? A little bump. So what? Your mind is not stressed. This doesn't mean you should settle for mediocrity in everything. It's about being relaxed. We're not worried. The fewer things we have, the more comfortable and independent we become. If you own a motorcycle, you have to think about servicing it, getting flat tires, and all sorts of things. People who don't have a motorcycle don't have those worries. So you have to be observant. When do I actually need a motorcycle? When don't I? It doesn't mean you shouldn't own one. Just go back to the first principle. Its use. When is it time for you to have a motorcycle? For example, sir, my boarding house is only 100 meters from campus. Well, if it's 100 meters, is it really necessary to have a motorcycle? But if you need to go far, there's plenty of public transportation now. There's Gojek. There are buses what isn't available. Think about it. Don't just think about prestige or trends. The fifth principle. If fewer things mean less stress and more freedom, the fifth is non-attachment to goods. For example, even if you need a motorcycle, you are not bound by your ownership of it. In Javanese, we say asterisk kadunyan. Asterisk, which means being very attached to worldly possessions. Like having that new motorcycle and a small scratch feels like the end of the world. You can't sleep. That means you're very attached. If you think simply, a scratch is just a scratch. A dent can be fixed later. It's simple. Why get stressed? It's because you're so attached that you make things complicated and overthink them. If it's scratched, take it to the shop. Done. If it's lost, you find a new way. It's simple. You're just making it complicated. Let's apply minimalist thinking. Sir, I failed my college exam. Well, why stress about it? You've already failed. It's a simple fact. But you get stressed and think about it for a long time. Oh, why wasn't my presentation perfect? I spoke carelessly. I should have done better. Yes, but it already happened. Just fix it next time. We often regret a simple wrong word for months.
Oh, why did I say that? It's already out.
If you were wrong, just apologize and it's over. But we often complicate simple things. So, the lesson here is to release attachment. Don't get too attached to unimportant things. Be a good doorman. Be very careful about what comes in and what goes out. Is it important for me to buy this thing? Even though it's on a flash sale. Even if it's cheap. Do I have to have it? It's not about whether you can afford it, but what's the point of buying it? Next, enjoy the space. You can be happy if you can enjoy emptiness. The absence of things. Not if we constantly want to fill our lives, it's hard to be happy. You should practice being happy with nothing. Enjoy the space. There's a famous story, often attributed to One day, a neighbor came to him, feeling stressed and overwhelmed. He asked for advice to make his life more comfortable. Nasruddin just said, "Buy 5 chickens and keep them in your house." So he did, and he became even more stressed. His house was crowded, and then there was the mess. He came back to Nasruddin, complaining. "Oh, if you're still stressed," Nasruddin said, "buy 2 goats and keep them in the house." He did it, and his stress levels went through the roof. He came back again, completely exasperated. Nasruddin said, "Okay, this is the last step. Get a cow and put it in the house." After a week, his life was chaos. Finally, he came back one last time. Nasruddin told him, "Now, sell the cow." Once the cow was gone, he felt a bit relieved. He went back to Good Nasruddin said, "But you're still not fully relieved. Now, sell the 2 goats." After selling the goats, he felt even better. Finally, Nasruddin said, "Sell the 5 chickens." Once the chickens were sold, his house was empty again. He was overjoyed. "Thank God, my life is comfortable now." This story teaches us to enjoy the space. His house was empty before, but he wasn't happy because he couldn't enjoy that space. Most of us assume, my house is so empty, my furniture is old. We feel inferior if we have nothing. But the path to happiness is learning to enjoy the absence of things. Not having things can be stress-free and liberating. Then, there's another principle. To like something doesn't mean you have to own it. This is a life lesson you can apply everywhere. We are so used to wanting to possess anything we like when we don't have to. We can still enjoy it. For example, "Wow, I love that ice cream." You don't have to buy an ice cream machine? "Oh, I love crispy chicken." You don't have to buy a deep fryer. You buy it, but then you realize making it is too much trouble. It's easier to just buy it from a shop, and the fryer just sits there, collecting dust. This egg boiler is so effective. You buy it, but then you think, why bother when I can just buy boiled eggs? Our mindset is often, if I like it, I buy it. You like juice, so you buy a juicer, but you rarely use it. It's easier to just buy juice on the way home. Liking nice clothes doesn't mean you have to buy a sewing machine and take design courses. So, to like doesn't mean you have to own. This is a broad, universal principle. And finally, be happy with enough. Life is about having just enough. More, not less. More isn't good. It brings extra burdens. Less isn't good either. It means something is unfulfilled. Let's practice being happy with what's enough. And enough is measured by your needs, not by trends or prestige. If your old phone is enough for all your needs today, then that's it. If your old laptop is sufficient, you don't have to buy a new one. Unless, sir, I'm an IT student. This laptop isn't powerful enough. In that case, it makes sense. The thinking is based on function, not style. So let's practice being happy with enough. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow for more.